So right now we are driving the Slavia 1.5 TSI. Well, yes, we have already driven the 1 liter TSI, which is going to be the mainstay of the Slavia range in India. But this is the top end. This is the top of the line style 1.5 TSI version. Now, of course, Skoda is marketing this car as something of a driver's car because they think the 1 liter TSI that is going to have the measure of the competition, but this is the car that is going to thrill performance enthusiasts or people who want to have that typical sedan fun. So first things first, of course, it comes with a 1.5 liter TSI engine. Now this is a familiar unit because we've already seen this in the Kushaq as well as the Taygun. So the one I'm driving today is the manual version. Of course, you can also opt for the 7-speed DSG, which is also a cracker of a transmission. But today I'm driving the manual version. So the thing is, I'm driving a sedan. It is a manual transmission. It has got 150 bhp and Skoda claims that this is a driver's car. So if you want to buy a sedan that's involving to drive, should you buy this one or should you stick to the 1 liter version? Well, let's find out. Now, of course, this is a familiar engine and it is in the Taygun as well as the Kushaq. Well, in terms of performance, there's not much of a difference because this engine is absolutely brilliant. So this has a 4-cylinder engine, and in terms of refinement, this is definitely much better than the 1 liter version because at idle it is quiet. It is just super refined, just like in the Taygun as well as the Kushaq. This engine, it doesn't make its presence felt. Even when you rev this engine, even when you go all the way up to the red line, this is just smooth. The performance is very linear, even though it's a turbo engine. But the way it picks up speed, it's very brisk and non-dramatic in that sense. It's a fast car and it shows in terms of performance. This can do 0 to 100 in just 8 seconds. So it is a quick car and it absolutely goes. The other thing is this car has a cylinder deactivation as well. So in terms of fuel economy, you are going to be covered. In fact, we recently did a fuel economy test with the Kushaq 1 liter and the Taygun 1.5. Again, both are identical cars. But in fuel economy, it was the 1.5 liter engine that was more efficient. Now, why is that? Of course, it's because of cylinder deactivation tech, and under low load conditions, this engine is virtually running on 2 cylinders. So that means you get better fuel economy, especially in the city. But once you get going, of course, it is going to drink. But in the overall scheme of things, I think this engine is actually a lot better than the 1 liter version. The only problem is it is going to be offered at the top of the range. There is no 1.5 base or mid variant. It is going to be offered with the top of the line version. So that's the only thing, because if you're going to buy that 1 liter top end variant, that's when you can consider this. Otherwise, it is going to be a little pricey. I'm guessing it will have an ex-showroom price of close to 16.5, 17 lakh rupees. So that is a lot of money. But then in terms of performance, well, actually this feels like those old Octavias because it has a lot of power and of course it's quite thrilling to drive in that sense. Now coming to the ride and handling, of course it behaves more or less the same as the 1 liter version because in terms of chassis tuning or suspension, well, Skoda hasn't done much because again it is a standard car in that sense. This car has the same sort of ride and handling as the 1 liter version. That is something, it surprises me because when we were in the presentation yesterday, Skoda was kind of pressing on the point that this is a driver's car and it's focused on drivers. But then my only complaint is that it looks just like the standard car, the 1 liter TSI. Even the interior, everything is exactly the same. So I was hoping maybe they could do a VRS version or something to spruce the interior up or some driver focused bits. Of course it comes with 16-inch wheels, so you can feel the suspension is not really soft. It is quite supple, it is quite pliant when you're driving it fast, but then it's not exactly a corner carver. You can feel around bends that this car is a little soft in the sense it has got body roll, but then in terms of how it handles, how it holds the road, it is quite Skoda-ish in the sense it is probably the best car in the segment. So this is in that way more focused than a Honda City or even the Verna. The only thing is, this being the TSI version, 150 bhp and all that, I was expecting a little something different. But again, Skoda has given it a miss, and I think they are keeping their cards close to their chest because in the future, they are likely going to do a VRS version or something like that, which is going to have sporty bits. So for the time being, this is the car that you get. And if you ask me, I think even if it doesn't have all those frills, even if it doesn't have those driver focused bits or that kit or whatever visual appeal, I think this is still would be my pick between the 1 liter and 1.5, because you are going to pay that extra money, but then in terms of fuel economy, in terms of performance, in terms of refinement, you're getting a better engine, you're getting a better overall package. My only grudge is that again, there is no mid variant for this thing. It's only at the top of the range. So that's where it is a little pricey for whatever it is. But then it is a brilliant car. And if you love driving, well, you are going to love this car. Now, the best thing that I love about the Slavia is that it has actually made sedans more exciting, or sedans more desirable, because this, like in terms of ground clearance, in terms of ride quality, it is designed for Indian roads. It has 180 millimeters of ground clearance nearly. So you're not going to scrape anything. You go over big speed breakers. It doesn't touch anything. You are covered on that front. It's nearly as good as compact SUVs. So it is quite brilliant since it is practical. It has everything. And it has a big boot space of 521 liters. So which means even if you want to move houses, well, you can just, do it in this car. So in terms of practicality, in terms of ride quality, in terms of handling, I think this is a very balanced product. And if you're someone who's not really inclined to buy SUVs, who's not just drawn towards SUVs, because dynamically, of course, it's better to drive. And it is a proper Skoda in the sense, I'd say, even if you wanted to buy something like an Octavia, which is a little too expensive, it's a great car, but then it's a little too expensive. I think this one, it has the performance, it has everything, and on top of that, it also looks quite brilliant because this one has those typical Octavia lines. This is a modern Skoda and it feels very European, very premium, very upmarket. So overall, I'd say that it is a great package. And if you are looking for a driver's car, if you are the guy who prefers sedans over SUVs or anything else, well, I think this is a definitive comeback of the sedan in the Indian market.